Shall we?
We shall.
All right. Well, I think we're on.
Are we now?
Hello? Are we live?
Did you
Are
get
we
any of that?
live, people? Oh, we got some family up in here. Whoa, that's sick seeing everyone.
Nice.
What's up, friends? Dang, potato, Meyer, Devi. Yeah, some of you guys will see that we turned people who have been super active in the comments and we know are all about the family into moderators because we realized that we cannot stop people from spamming at the same time.
Yeah. Lives are like a whole different thing. Like, lot to keep track of, so it's helpful to have some moderators in the chat.
So I don't really know, like, what's so funny? The spammer
Mahabharat guys in the chat. What's good? A lot of snakes, as always.
That's always good. Yeah, so we're just gonna wait a few minutes to make a big announcement and just to let some people filter in here. And then we've been feeling like reactions while live streaming like doesn't feel super good for us.
Yeah.
Like maybe something we should try again at some point.
Yeah, let us know if you want us to react to stuff, but we were thinking of just like hanging out, chatting, asking or answering questions, like talking about our lives. But it felt like a lot to juggle trying to like come up with comments, like read your comments and react to stuff and think about what to say. But
yeah, I felt like we were half present for all the things.
Yeah, definitely something we could get used to if you really liked. So just let us know if you really like reactions during live streams. Where's he going?
Debbie asked where her snake is.
Where her snake is.
I don't know if this video has dropped yet, but so at one point the snake became the one-eyed snake because at some point I was going crazy and just like slinging the snake around, and then one of its eyes just went flying. Irresponsible snake handling. And then the other day, one of our friends is doing the same thing, slings the other eye out. So then it was all of a sudden went from this one-eyed, all-knowing snake to
a blind snake.
A blind snake. But then we were like, wait a second. maybe these eyes have closed, but snake is here.
Does God exist or not?
Oh, that's a simple question.
I mean, we would know. I'm so glad you asked me, because like, who else would know besides us?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's yeah.
I'd say find out.
Yeah.
find out for yourself. Yeah. I can't lead you down that path. All right. We feeling good?
Yeah, I feel like
feeling groovy.
We got 50 folks up in here. That's pretty wild.
Her? Yeah. That is pretty wild.
My handsome snaky baby is here. I hope that as this channel grows more and more, the snake becomes the center of attention.
Yeah. I think that's where it's headed. Yeah. Like, honestly, like, genuinely, who's coming on stream for us right now?
Yeah.
Like,
where's my snake? Give me my snake.
Yeah, there's no where's my Mitch. It's just like snake emoji, snake emoji, snake emoji, snake emoji. We like that. We want it to be like that.
Yeah, so shall we announce?
Well, we've got some big stuff that is dropping today.
Yes, yes.
First of all, you may have seen we have changed our logo to the snake because it was the mind. It was the
Yes.
brain, which, I mean, snake has clearly transcended at this point. So it's the next level now.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about the logo? Do you guys like the... Because we went with a... you know, we had this color palette for the channel. We kept the same color palette, but we
Yeah.
changed the main colors. So now it's like purple gives that base.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Thoughts? Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun to make. Bro, react to rap music, Indian. That would be interesting.
Whoa.
I've never heard an Indian rapper, I don't think.
Me either. Do not
That'd be
think
cool.
so.
Did you design it? Mia, I'll be honest, I kind of cheat designed it.
Oh.
This is something I learned back when we were making our videos that are like way deep on this channel, when this channel was called Beyond Entertainment. There's some history for you. But we were making these like really in-depth pieces where we would work like a 60-70 hour week just to make one video, and it was like a short story with like music or stuff.
That was a weird time.
But in that process, it was a lot of like taking different ideas and gathering them together. And I pretty much learned the fast ways of design, of being like, let's see what exists out there already, and then take some templates and throw it together. So yeah, this logo is kind of a combo of like a few different things I found, and then taking sketches from some of them in graphic design software and meshing them all together. Fun question though. All right, next part of the announcement.
Yeah.
Are we ready?
I don't know. Are the people ready?
Know. Are the people ready?
Yeah.
Can we get some people telling us that they're ready?
Oh. It's gonna be like that. We need to like make sure
Get the crowd
going. It's like you hear little cheers.
Yeah. What's the announcement? What's the announcement? No, yeah, it's still really difficult to like look at the chat at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, any spammers, you know who you are. Let's
You do know who
let's
you
chill
are.
with that, all right?
Let's do it.
Someone also said something about slow chat mode. I have no idea what slow chat mode is,
We could figure that out.
but maybe
We'll look into that. Yeah.
Oh, the people are ready.
The people are ready.
The people are saying it.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to start? Or should I start?
All right, I'll start.
Nice.
So, here's the deal. There's a lot of you on this channel that have been calling the channel a satsang. And for any of you in chat who might not know what a satsang is basically a group of people who come together as a spiritual community and look to mutually, grow isn't quite the right word, but like work on stuff together, like as a group. And so we love that you've been calling this channel a satsang, but we understand that this could go way farther than just us talking to you and you creating the satsang, because you're really the ones creating the satsang. You're the ones building the community, but that's all just happening in the comments section. And so what we are looking to do and what we are launching right now is the possibility of, for anyone who wants to go deeper, joining an online satsang that is less focused on us, more focused on the community, where you are going to be able to be way more involved in all of this. Yeah. And so it's legitimately like the title Learn With Us will make more sense then, I feel like. Because it's like us actually learning with you just as much. It's not just going to be like
us watching videos and like talking.
Yeah, which is great. Like the channel's not going to change. The channel's going to stay the same.
Yeah.
This is our channel. This is what we're doing. But then for the people who want to take that a step farther, we've created a online satsang. Would you like to describe any of the details?
Yes,
sir?
yes. Charon, man, love you. This is too many messages. if you keep doing this, we're gonna have to dismiss you. Yeah. So, how this is all gonna go down? We were trying to think about what is the best way that we could connect an international community in a meaningful way. So, we realized more face-to-face interaction as much as possible.
That's what everyone's been asking for, is like face-to-face interaction, not just our faces, but all of your faces. Yeah.
Yes. So, in order to do that, we pretty much had this idea of like, what if we did a bi-weekly Zoom call that was like on a Sunday or whatever day people think it's best.
Yeah.
We all gather on the interwebs, on Zoom, whatever it is. In that space, we can break into small breakout rooms. So there'll be like whatever, 3, 4, depends how many people we have, 5, 6. Just these little groups that then every week you'll kind of get mixed into a new group of international humans who are interested in the same thing.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, we want something that we can like talk about every week or every other week.
Yeah, so it's not just like random open discussion every week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we came to the idea that we should, as a group, decide what is, what's the content for this next 2-week period.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning of every 2-week period, we will make up a little worksheet that has videos, readings, whatever other type of material, meditations to try.
Yeah, prompts to like get you thinking after you've done these things.
So then every 2 weeks we'll kind of have whatever its like natural theme is. Everyone gets these prompts for 2 weeks, studies them, gets real deep inside of themselves, and at the end of those 2 weeks gets to gather with these groups, talk through their experiences, hear other perspectives, dive deeper and deeper into this process. All with a group of people from all around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, Snake. So yeah, if you have interest in joining that, we are running it through our Patreon. We understand that, yes, the Patreon has monetariness involved. The reason why we are doing it through the Patreon is because YouTube, it makes you a little bit of money, but nowhere close to enough to feed yourself, pay rent, be able to do something like this continuously.
Yeah.
And we have been so lucky, so blessed to have all of you join this and have been realizing how much beautiful potential there is here, but also realizing we cannot keep doing this unless we are able to somehow make money. So we thought the coolest, absolute coolest way to make money would be to do something that would really mean a lot to you guys and also really mean a lot to us. So yes, we have it on our Patreon. A video is dropping at like 10:15, 10:30 that goes over everything we just said in one little video. It's called like Join Our Satsang. And in that, we'll give you all the details. On the Patreon, we are trying to make this as accessible as possible.
Yeah.
So every price range gets you into the satsang. And then if you have the means to donate more, you'll just get like a few little fun perks.
Yeah.
And as we also say in the video, if monetary is something that's not possible for you, like reach out to us.
We will figure something out.
Yeah.
Like I promise you we'll figure something out, because I do not want to exclude one person from the satsang that wants to be in the satsang. And just basically think of it as like donation platform. Give whatever you can to just like allow us to keep all of these things going. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And also on the satsang is going to be a group Discord.
I forgot about that.
You forgot about it. I was like, why didn't he talk about that? But a group Discord. And so what the group Discord is going to be is basically this big, we're calling it the family group chat because, I mean, what else would you call it? And we're all going to be able to just chat it up with like the people who want to go deepest on this channel stuff. Like, it's not just going to be like, how I love connecting with everyone through the comments, but I feel like this will just take it like a step farther. Like, you actually get to know the people. You get to like interact with them as often as you want. There's also a voice chat room where you can just like hop onto Discord. Everyone, like, if whoever has notifications on, you like voice chat, and then you can just chat it up with like other Learn With Us regulars, which is like so crazy. Yeah.
So there'll be the 2-week regular thing, and then in between as much interaction as you all want to have.
Yes, exactly.
And it's just
which is sweet because like I can tell that there's a lot of connections forming like in the comments. Like, people are starting to know each other, and if you want to, you can like look at them in their face and talk to them on the Zoom for the first time. It's like, that is crazy cool.
Link also just said something interesting that they would love to join, but they don't like mandatory active presence.
Oh.
And I think that is one of the biggest points that I would want to touch upon when we're like actually in the Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Is that there's the same thing that we say when we have like a guest on for Learn With Us.
Yes.
Is like, we do not expect you to say anything. We do not expect you not to say anything. And like making sure that everyone does get the airspace that's like good for them, if that's helpful, but also that you can literally be a presence.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's also helpful. Like, if you don't necessarily want to talk a lot, it could still be really beneficial if you just like hung out with us and just listen. Because I feel like that's how I am sometimes in conversation, like in real life. Like, I'll be in a conversation with a bunch of people and I'm just like, I kind of feel like taking a back seat today. And just like, I'm just going to observe and listen and just like really actively look people in their eyes and listen to them. And I feel like leaving that door open for anyone, like, especially if you're like nervous to speak or anything like that, like, just don't feel pressure at all. Yeah. So we'll set all those ground rules and like talk all about that for anyone who's in the satsang. But we'll also be like, the idea is that we want to mold this to your preferences. So like, someone says something like that, if we hadn't thought about it before, now we're thinking about it. It's not like we're like, oh no, you have to do this. It's like someone suggested it. It's like they're just as much a part of this satsang now as we are. We're not like any sort of like, we are in charge.
And also the satsang we were planning on starting next Sunday. Yeah. We were planning on just doing Sunday because that's the day that everyone on this platform said that would be like the best days for streams and stuff. So we're thinking next Sunday, first meeting, probably just like a hangout. Let's figure out how this all works. Yeah. And then start the learnings after that. Yes. Wow. Is there anything, do you guys have any questions about all that? Is there anything that you're wondering,
Mitch and Eli, what the hell are you talking about?
You guys are kind of weird.
You guys.
Why do you have a stuffed animal snake wrapped around your neck?
If you're asking those questions, you're definitely new. Yeah. Oh, we will be there. We got I'm in.
Nice.
Yes. Oh my gosh. If we could like get a ton of people, just like hop onto a Zoom call, like open up a Zoom call one week. Picture this. You open up a Zoom call one week and it's just like, but like people join. And it's just like, everyone's just spiritual seekers or like however you want to call it. crazy.
That is unreal.
It's not just like random Joes. Oh yeah.
Nice. Is this a pyramid scheme? Yes. Anybody who is below us does need to do a certain amount of tasks every week, and if they are not completed, I'm sorry.
The tasks include getting people below you.
V, what's up, man? Good to see you. I don't know if you're a man. You're whatever you are. What's up, Bean? Someone was saying that the other day. Oh, it was you.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was like talking to a group of our roommates, Mitch and two females, and was like, yeah, dudes or guys or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just goes, we're not guys. And I was like, right. What's up, beans?
All right, let's see here.
Yes, we also realized Zoom has the limit of a certain amount of participants, like 100 or whatever. If we get to that problem, we'll handle that problem.
That would be sweet.
That'd be such a good problem to have. But it would probably mean something like a few different sessions, or Mitch and I have also already been thinking this, that we both go on different computers in the house.
Yeah.
So that, because we don't want this to be, again, about like us at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be so fun if we just become participants.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we would be able to, like, if we also had the two computers, we could open two Zoom rooms if we got to that point.
Also, Ayush, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. I'm so sorry. You asked, you were like, oh, I can't give monetary money because I'm not old enough, which I didn't know that was a thing. But that's just another thing where you would want to just hit us up, direct message us like on Instagram or something like that. And like I said, we will figure something out. Yeah. And the Instagram is at Learn With Us.
YouTube or something.
YouTube. Is it?
YT.
YT.
You can find the link in any of our descriptions to that. Sweet.
Let's see here.
Yeah, any more questions about all this announcy stuff? We need a...
Please share the link to the satsang. Is that somehow in the description of this?
It's I don't know if it's in the description of this. We can put that in right now. But also, it's going to be in all of our video description links.
Yep.
And already is.
And it's in the About Us section of our channel, if you're looking for that. Yeah.
We could try to grab that and just send it in the chat right now.
Yeah, sure.
Just because then we'll have done it. And we can put it into the... Dum, 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 dum. All right, Mitch, say something.
Well, why did the blue strawberry cross the road?
Uh-oh. The blue strawberry? Why? I'm curious.
Because Snake was chasing it. Yes? We got the link in the chat. I don't have to say anything anymore.
So yeah, the link is literally just patreon.com/learnwithus. So it's a pretty easy one to
pretty simple one.
Yeah, if you guys have any troubles with anything on there or getting there, again, we're trying to make this as smooth as possible, but we're new to all of this.
Yes, yeah. And again, just like if you need to reach us, comment section is fun to like chat about stuff, but if you need to reach us about something like Patreon, just hit us up on like Instagram DM. Yeah, I feel like that's a good way to reach us if you want some sort of more logistical issue solved.
The people, it's this whole like 20-second lag thing is really funny because
yeah.
Now we see you guys responding to the why did the snake cross the road? I forget what the joke even was.
It's just a terrible joke. Yeah.
Oh yeah, pin it. How do we can probably pin this?
Pin message.
Bang.
Wow.
Message pinned.
We are technically savvy.
You guys are so much smarter than us with this stuff.
That's why we did the song. Because
oh, yes.
there's like, every time we go in the comments section, it's like, holy crap. There's like books and books full of knowledge in every comment section.
Wow.
What's the time there? Here, it is 10:30 in the morning. 10:23 in the morning.
Yeah, thank you for the precision.
Yes, good precision.
What time is it there? Are most of you guys... I don't know how, like, India's time zone setup works.
Yeah.
Are most of you guys on the Indian Standard Time?
It's a good question.
Is that... I mean, I feel like that's definitely the best thing for us to base everything on.
Yes, the Discord is Patreon only.
Yes.
But again, like I said, give what you can. If you can't, hit us up.
Satsang or tech song? Hey, we're doing what we can. Oh, AJ. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Absolute legend. Curious. What does that say?
Oh man. He saw in one of the videos. He was probably watching one of our older videos.
That was a poetry video. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. One of our poetry videos. That is something I pretty much only ever meditate like outside under a tree or something like that. I don't know how exactly I was sitting in the video you were watching, but yeah, I love spending time outside. I've been kind of like I've been doing it a bit less lately. I would love to spend more time outside. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't spent... I noticed that the other day that we haven't spent as much time outside since we moved here.
Right. I think it's definitely because of, like, for me at least, the logistics of, like, you would not believe the amount of mosquitoes.
Oh my gosh.
It's unbelievable how many mosquitoes are outside. Like, I have been, like, trying to, like, train myself to, like, not really be bothered by mosquitoes. But it's still just, like, wow. There's a lot. And, yeah, our new place has, like, just... I don't know. Our old place, it was just, like, you stepped outside and it was, like, you could just walk out into nature right away, it felt like. And it feels somehow different here. Maybe also our priorities are different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changes.
Oh, it's 9:55 time for somebody.
Yeah, I think most people said Indian Standard Time is good. I saw someone say they're in Japan. That's so cool.
We got commenter nature is everything.
Yeah,
you know nature is everything.
With the sunglasses emoji.
It's
chilling.
True. Yeah, I always kind of get hyped when I see you commenting because I don't know. Self-proclaimed nature boy here.
Potato asked if you could talk about your farming job.
Oh, I would love to talk about my farming job. I've been thinking about like making some sort of video about the farming job. Just because that, I don't know, that somehow lines up with like all this other stuff. I couldn't really tell you how. But yeah, I work on an organic farm. We grow lots of different vegetables. And I first got the job because it felt like just doing the YouTube channel was like a lot of screen time. And I wanted something more physical to like do with my hands. And especially right when I started, it was like, I found this awesome balance between doing YouTube and being outside working. It was quite nice. Yeah. But, yeah, it's a pretty small farm with some very kind humans at the farm. Yeah. If you want to follow, the farm has an Instagram, and I'll probably be on it a decent amount.
Nice.
And yeah, the farm's Instagram is called... Let me check real quick. I think it's called Hip Peas Farm. I'll actually just toss it in chat.
One of like the guy who is kind of running the farm now that they changed I guess one of their bosses just left, and then like another guy our age is kind of now taking over the farm, and he is so cool, just a really amazing human, and he's gonna be on an episode of Learn with Us coming up.
Yes, he is going to be on an episode of Learn with Us. Yeah.
Which is very fun. I visited Ramana Maharshi's ashram.
Oh my. No way.
That's a bomb to drop.
Yeah, that's a bomb to drop. I asked Eli the other day. I don't know if any of you Sadhguru people are going to be offended by this, but that's okay. I asked Eli the other day. I was like, if you had to like bet your entire life on one person being definitely enlightened, because like, I mean, if you really think about it, you can never actually know. And just without pause, he was just like Ramana Maharshi, and I was like, yeah, me too. It's like
there's something different.
There's something different
Ramana.
about it. It's just, and like, it's hard to even describe. It's like this. Sometimes I just like get this feeling about him, and I get like shivers down my back. There was another time where I was like sitting on a couch one time, having a pretty like powerful experience, and I just looked into like the darkness across from me, and it was like I could almost feel his gaze for a moment.
Whoa.
And it was like, it was powerful stuff. It was like my body just got way more relaxed. And I realized that there's like a certain amount of high energiness that we have oftentimes when we go through life, and stuff that I didn't even notice, but that you have to like completely drop your internal energy to be at where he's at. Possibly. Like, it's something that I've been playing with, but every time that I completely like take out all like anxiety and excitement and anything that piques my energies, it's like from that there's like this vibrational thing going on. It's like my body is finally like, oh, you finally stopped like doing whatever it is that like stops all this cool stuff from happening. It's like you stop blocking yourself. Yeah.
Yikes.
Little Ramana Maharshi tangent.
Yeah, those are some bars.
Oh man.
Debbie asked if I could say something about my weed song. And this is interesting. This is interesting on multiple accounts. So I made a song. How long ago was that?
That was, oh my gosh, that was nearly a year ago.
Nearly a year ago.
Nearly a year, like 11 months ago.
For those of you who don't know, we like to make music. I do a lot more like hip hop type stuff. Mitch also dabbles in the hip hop, but also has a beautiful singing voice. If you guys want to hear it, check it out. Yeah, so we do some of those pieces. That like used to be this channel, and then we split that like artistic type stuff, split it into the 2 channels. Now we have like a New Dream in this one. We haven't been able to do too much on a New Dream because trying to put so much effort into this. But anyway, I made a song about weed that was like me talking to another version of myself, the weed version, the not weed version, and having this like interaction that would always happen in my head when I was like using weed, and just kind of like getting all of my truths out there about those types of things. And I don't know, I find art is a super good way to express all the things that we often like keep inside. But this is very interesting because last night I had a hit of weed for like the first time in a really, really long time.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and it was just like brought me back to that place, and it was like this same kind of dialogue I would always have of like shaming myself for doing weed, because I knew that in a lot of ways it was like diminishing my energy or making me feel like not my fullest self. And then last night after I had done it, it was like a very compulsive thing. And I recognized that, and I was like, well, that was dumb. Like, I can feel that I don't feel as good as normal.
Yeah.
and it was just kind of this like acceptance of that, rather than, and not a feeling like I needed to go like admit it to you or anything.
Yeah.
But also the fact that I can talk about this right now and like say it out loud without me feeling like I need to hold myself to a certain standard or whatever shows a lot of the progress within myself with that self-honesty. So I would say that was kind of the main point of the whole weed rap piece, is that self-honesty, and that you know carries. And I was just funny that you said that, because I was like, well, last night I was thinking about that.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. We are looking for more questions. We've also, I don't know if you care at all about our personal lives, but we have had maybe the weirdest week. I would say this has got to be one of the weirdest weeks of my entire life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was thinking about that, like what I could share,
Yeah, right.
what I should share.
I know. I've been thinking about it too.
And it's like, feels like those things are going to get shared in
Yeah.
a lot of ways, but that may be, at least the time for me to share my thing isn't here yet.
Yeah. No, I guess I agree. So
Sorry to get you guys all excited.
yeah,
there.
no, that was
Bob has entered the chat.
Hey. Bob just with a casual what's poppin'.
Yeah, yeah, that's how you stroll up in the chat right there, Bob. Oh, I did see that Bob has an Instagram account that he's hit us up on, and it used to have a different name, and yesterday it got changed to Baba Bob Ass.
So good.
It got me hyped.
So good. Yeah.
Is it cold out there?
It is not cold here because I don't know where you're from, but if you're from the southern hemisphere, obviously, I don't know if this is obvious to you, but it's like flipped. So I only learned this because I went to New Zealand one time during our winter, and it was deep summer in New Zealand, and I was like, what the heck? But yeah, right now we are in the late part of summer, and so it is most of the time pretty darn hot here.
It's been a very humid summer.
Has been.
It's very humid around here in general.
Yeah.
Like, but you'll, like the pipes in our basement and stuff, just that have cold water running through them, will like gather condensation on them just from how much water is in the air.
Yeah.
Which is just mind blowing.
Pretty nuts. Yeah.
We have not. Oh, you got it?
Somebody asked us what meditation practices do we do? And if so, can we share? First of all, we have a really old video on meditation, and it kind of outlines like what our general platform is in building like a meditative practice. And for me, I've been kind of feeling a bit odd about the word meditation, like in what it does. I feel like I haven't had that sort of connection that I used to do with the word, because whenever I go and sit now, I'm kind of just like exploring my body and like experimenting and seeing what it can do, and that doesn't necessarily feel like the normal version of what meditation is, I guess. But I guess I don't have like, I've been finding it also weird to have, or just not helpful to me, to have like really hard set practices that I do every day, like a sadhana, like a very rigid sadhana, because it feels like for me that making those commitments with myself limits my amount of freedom every day, because it means that instead of I wake up and instinctually or intuitively I go, oh, what do I need right now? what's the best thing for me to do right now. It's like instead with something like those rigid habits, like I meditate every day at this time. It feels like for me that creates just this habit that is just done every day, sort of mechanically, and yeah, it just hasn't been super helpful to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I also used to have like a very strict like practice, and it was usually based around kind of like a, and I guess I loosely base most of what I do on this of like do something to really like settle me down into whatever the space is. So like usually recently that's been breath work.
Yeah.
Like doing something that really gets my focus in. And then from there do like a stillness type thing, really just focusing on like either keeping my focus on one specific thing or allowing my focus to just kind of melt and be like not, yeah, so it's less training your, or it's like a general training of focus when you can just melt and allow whatever the things are that are like coming through your perception to fully be there, but to not like bother you or anything, I guess. So I would say, yeah, it kind of goes like become still, stillness practice, and then the end would usually be kind of like an intentions thing for me, sort of like a prayer type thing, or a, you know, like set forth, put myself into what I want to be. And usually I would do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Because that would be the thing that kind of like, I don't know, I noticed that was very helpful for me in setting my day off, like the way that felt best. I also saw someone say that tomorrow is Krishna's birthday.
Oh.
So we should run a video on Krishna.
Yeah.
That sounds cool because I know zero.
I know very little about Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah, Krishna Jamasami. Does that mean like birthday?
All right. Any more questions?
Yeah.
Would you like to
what
know?
else is going on?
Yeah, anything.
Yesterday, one thing that I thought would be fun to bring up.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had inspired by Mitch, a session with some of our roommates and one of our other best friends who has been a roommate in the past, where we just very honestly said what we like perceive about other people.
Yeah. In a way that's like intended to this is going to sound weird potentially, but make someone uncomfortable. Like make them step out of their comfort zone for a second and see how that feels. So like saying something about someone that they might hold inside as like an insecurity or something like that, and the whole idea of the practice, at least in my mind, was just like, see if people can bring you out of your flow, out of your zen, and see how easy it is for other people to just take that from you. Like you've given other people, like Sadhguru would say, you've given other people that privilege, and see how quickly that can leave you.
And how much of the time when we like think we're in, you know, a good state.
Yeah.
That really we also, if we did encounter something that could rip us out, we would just get ripped out immediately.
Yes.
Even though you're like, I'm all holy and I'm in my zone.
Yeah. It was the craziest part for me last night. Like, I don't think anyone necessarily said anything to me that took me out of my flow state. But then I walked outside for like 2 minutes in the middle of the conversation, and I like got really afraid for some reason, just being outside at night, which is, I spend lots of time like just out in the woods at night, or at least I used to. So it was just a weird feeling to be afraid like that. But I stepped outside and I was afraid, and it was as if everything that I learned, like all this like spiritual mumbo jumbo was just gone. And I was like, look how fast that just went away. And it reminded me, I was watching a documentary by Ram Dass the other day, and he said that when he had his stroke in his, I think, late 60s or something like that, he said, all I remember was laying on the floor all of a sudden, and I didn't know what happened, and nothing spiritual was going through my mind. He was like, it wasn't as if I was meeting God. It wasn't, he was like, all I remember is just staring up at the ceiling. And he was like, that is so, like, that's so scary in a way. Like, he's like, I'm Ram Dass. And it's like I walked outside. I was like, wait, where's all that stuff that just has been happening to me over these last months? It's as if it like hasn't seeped into all the different parts of me. It's like even that sometimes could be looked at as a front. Because there's also this period every morning that's been happening lately that maybe I've just been noticing it, where I'll wake up and for the first 2 minutes, all this stuff that we talk about and anything spiritual that's happened to my body is just asleep. And it's as if I like remember it 2 minutes into the day, and it's like, oh, that's not just a part of me. That's like something I have to remember every day. And so it's, which like in some ways is really good, because obviously I'm not enlightened. So something is not permanent. Something's not, like, something can go away. Like, my life isn't just this like perpetual thing, and I'm all of a sudden like, oh my God, I'm not enlightened. It's like, that's not how it is. I'm like, dang, really good. This is all really good stuff. Like, I'm being really, really, really challenged. Yeah.
Yes.
That's just been this whole week for me, is like seeing how quickly I'm just taken out of what I thought was so solid in myself. Very humbling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that, one of the things that I said to kind of push Mitch's buttons a bit was like, what if all of this spiritual stuff is just made up? And you're just like, all of these ideas, all these hopes, dreams about being able to move on from suffering, whatever it is.
Yeah.
What if it's all just a lie that you're telling yourself? And that's an interesting one for me, because especially with the things that like transpired this weekend, there was a lot of things that I could immediately like grip to and use it as kind of fuel for myself. And understanding that any fuel source is going to be impermanent.
That's good.
That's
good. Even for me, like, I've been noticing how anything, like, there are benefits to meditation, there are benefits to breath work, but that in some ways that's been really feeling like just another fuel source for me. Where like, I'll do breath work, I'll feel really good, like my body feels really good, and then it just kind of like trails away every time without fail. Or like, I'll have an entire day where I'm like, man, I am gliding on this earth. Like, I am doing
skating on it.
I am skating on it. Everything's just like so easy, and then it just trails away. And so, yeah, another thing that brings me again back to Ramana Maharshi, how he's like, any of those practices, they can allow for one-pointedness of mind, but know that that's all they can allow for. They don't allow for a permanent state. It will go away. And so you need to pair that with self-inquiry.
Oh, those are just such bars. That's the thing about Aramana. Where it's like...
Yeah. He doesn't even say stop doing the things. He's like, sure, do your breath work. Have fun doing it. Just make sure you're also doing this self-inquiry thing while you're doing it, because you'll learn at one point that that's the only important thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
Doge asks how old we are. We are both 23.
Bum, bum, bum. How old did you guys think we were?
Yeah, recent grads from college or university, both of us. And I'm liking this whole YouTube thing right out of college.
This is something before going to college, when I took a gap year, I had like a notebook where that was kind of like when my more conscious like form started to arrive, was in that year.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point I wrote down a list of things that I wanted to be by the end of college, and literally all of them came true.
Wow.
Like every single one. But 4 or 5 of them happened in like the last 2 weeks of college.
Whoa.
And it was like, not 4 or 5, maybe 2 or 3. But it was this really interesting thing that I was like, a lot, because I've heard a lot of people say if you write something down, you know, it's a great way to like set your intentions and lock your like energy onto a certain path that will like get you there or whatever. And as like more and more of those things came true, and most of them were just like internal things that I wanted to like become, but that as more and more of those things came true, I started to get like this feeling of like, oh yeah, like that's kind of sick the way that all this is happening. And then for like a long period, the thing stopped, and there was this list of like 2 or 3 things.
Oh, wow.
And it was only once I like was like, well, screw it, you know what, maybe I won't, like the thing won't happen. And one of the things was creating conscious media that actually like had a following. And it was crazy because like the month that we graduated, or that I graduated, was like when Learn With Us then picked up.
Wow.
And it was right when I was like, well, screw it, you know, I've been working at this and it's not really happening.
Yeah.
Strange. What do you guys think about manifestation type stuff?
Oh, yeah.
That's an interesting one.
That's been like really changing over the last 3 years for me, like my approach to manifestation and my like how much value I put on it, things like that.
Why do you guys change the channel logo from Ayush?
Well, someone said in chat, and this is just the best answer, Snake ate the brain. Because
Snake ate the brain.
Snake realizes I am not the body, and I am not even the mind. And now it's just Snake, who is the only enlightened one in this room right now, for sure. Eli told me at one point if I put the snake up to my forehead, weird things would happen. I tried it. Nothing yet. But it's just funny that I tried it. Oh, yes.
New logo is the mascot. Oh yeah, Meyer. That's the truth. Give me the truth. Any other thoughts, questions, things you're wondering about?
A little bit of silence for you. Someone says you are enlightened, the snake isn't. That is news to everyone in this room.
Who am I is the question.
All right. Do you think manifestation is a miracle? Personally, I think miracles can happen, so yeah.
I think the things that I would call miraculous in my life are the things that happened without any sort of effort on my part. And it feels like manifestation is... Sadhguru said this thing, and I think he says it a lot, of like, okay, if you have mastery over your mind, whatever, you're free. Mastery over your body, you're healthy. Mastery over your energy, you're enlightened, or whatever. But that, he goes, those might all be wrong.
Yeah.
He goes, if you can line up your energy, your mental body, and your physical body, if you can have all those things point in the same direction, things will happen in ways that's just like so much faster than you could ever imagine them happening. And it feels like my entire meditation practice that we were talking about earlier was this whole time kind of training me to align those things. And then it's like stuff will happen at a much faster, or not always a faster pace, but in like, because it feels with manifestation for me like I put a lot of work into the thing, but the thing happens, and that's the weird part. Like, I'm very consciously keeping my energy, my focus, my things there, and understanding that manifestation is not just like a woo-woo thing, like out in the ether, but that is a piece of it. But another piece of that etherness is the fact that your physicality also becomes aligned with whatever the thing that is manifesting would be. And I think it's also interesting how Sadhguru will say, like, everything humans have ever made is a manifestation. It's something that was here that is now here. But miracles, some miraculous things have happened, but I've figured out that I cannot believe in those because, again, it becomes a fuel source. You went on a little walk. What was that about?
It was right when you said, it just, when you were talking about how Sadhguru was saying what you need if you want to go deeper or whatever is to align those three parts of you.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling like there's like a next step that I can't really specifically talk about in my own very personal process, that it just feels like internally I've just kind of recognized, like, there's some points where I'll like try to take the next step, and then afterwards I've just been recognizing that I'm not ready. Like, there's something in me that's not ready, and it just like clicked right when you said that. It's like 100% of my being isn't ready. Like, there's parts that are ready. There's parts where like the focus is only on that thing, on that next step. But then there's other parts that are like half in, half out. They like having their feet straddled, where like, oh, we can go deeper on this spirituality stuff, but also I don't want to lose these like subtle tendencies that I have, and these like awesome relationships that I have, and this life that I've built. It's like part of me isn't ready, and so the rest of me has to just wait. It's like the rest of me can't just move on from that. There has to be like an internal complete alignment that happens. That just, that is something that I've just like haven't had the words for, and haven't had like the concept around yet, but have just been kind of frustrated and feeling that lately. And wow, that's really good.
That was one of the biggest things that happened throughout this weekend. That was like the crazy weekend or whatever, was understanding how wavering my focus is on becoming my fullest self. And all of the excuses that I build up in order to make myself feel comfortable where I'm at. And I think like that, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be comfortable with where you're at. I think you need to fully accept where you're at. And for me, I was lying to myself of where I'm at to feel comfortable. And it's like,
yeah.
If you are able to accept without attaching to like, oh yeah, this is Eli right now. And that can be fluid. And there is this thing that feels like a pulling. And it's like the more I can just accept what Eli is right here, right now, the more I can give up to that pulling. Because it's less of like, oh, Eli needs to be X right now. And that thought of like, oh, I should be this, or I need to be this, prevents a full like dissolution into the pull. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I think so. I think it's like who's doing the pulling?
Mm-hmm.
Are you like forcing that pull in yourself? Because I've done that, especially recently. Or is there something genuinely pulling you, like you're on a string, and are you just following that? Ooh, I've really not been doing that. I've really not been doing that. Wow. Yeah.
One of the things that happened this weekend, going off of that, is like that it felt like I had for the first time given in to that like string pull. And allowed this like meat sack to become like a full channel.
Yeah.
And that, makes you rethink the truth of reality and all of those things. And then you gotta learn that you can't grip to any of it. Do you think the importance... That whole piece just hit Mitch pretty hard, eh? Seems like an injury. Do you think the importance given to the methods is like compartmentalization of our spiritual process? Is intention important or the method? Feels to me like, in my experience, intention is the most important, because once you, as we were just kind of saying with the like being pulled thing, if you ground yourself in a practice, that is again just going to be a fuel source. And it's like the intention behind the practice is really the only thing that can be unwavering. Which is another interesting thing with the whole idea of desire, is like, how can you have intention without desire? But I guess that's what's making me figure out my own concept of how desire fits into all of this.
Yeah.
And not feeling bad if my idea of desire is different than like a Sadhguru or a whatever. It's like, it's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's been important for me as well, is like not being really like pulled every which way when like someone says this, another teacher says this, like how can I reconcile these two? It's like every time it's like the answer's in here, and it just like makes sense with everything else that everyone says once I hear it in here. And it just doesn't matter. Yeah. Like what all it really just, when it gets down to it, doesn't matter what all those other people say. It's like, and you always like, you'll just know what's the truth for you on the inside. Oh man.
yeah, I'm getting to the point where I feel like it's almost time to.
Yeah, I got some I got some stuff to do now.
We got some things to figure out.
Got some things to figure
See,
out.
this is the coolest thing about Learn With Us,
Mm-hmm.
is that we show up every day and have all these things that we've been going through or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we have a teacher, you guys who recommend the teacher, the videos. And it's just like this random colliding
Yeah.
that creates a opportunity to step outside of the robot functions of the whole day. And it feels like this conversation right here, both of us have also been like thinking about you guys on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't say we've been like 100% able to just lock in with each other or whatever.
Yeah.
But it totally has taken us both into a place because of the questions you guys asked. And like the whole situation we're in, that then it took us both to different places within ourselves of figuring out like, wow, I really have been X, Y, Z. And then hopefully, and I think the reason why people also hang out here is because you guys then experience another cycle of that back. Like,
yeah.
Your questions came here and then go back to you, and then boom, bang, bada bing.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure, like, since this is just like a common thread between us, that we're looking for the depth, we're looking for like the vibrancy of life, whatever you want to call it. It's like we're gonna have a lot of overlap. And so I feel like that's another cool thing, especially like going back to the whole idea of the satsang, is like I'm excited to receive more of that as well, because I feel like there's a lot of like giving, and then someone will be like, damn, I'm going through like a similar thing right now, or like that was crazy what you said there. I'm waiting for like me to be listening to someone sharing their experience in the satsang. And oh yeah. Jeez. And just be like, to be struck by someone else's personal account.
Surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that. Yes.
One more.
Yeah. Please.
We'll do one more
Let's do one
question.
more.
I like this question a lot. Who asked that? Krish04. Mitch and Eli, tell me one question you'd ask if you get to meet an enlightened being. Like if you had one question to ask. This is gonna. I don't care how this sounds. It's gonna sound however it sounds to you. I have put a lot of thought into this. Like, what the heck? What would I do to like receive the most that I could? And I feel like I'm at a point where we talk about certain things on this channel. We'll talk about like problems we're having or questions that we have, and it feels like sometimes we find answers to them, but in reality it's just a circle of questions. It's like the questions just keep coming and coming and coming, and I've realized that in my truest core I have no questions. And I feel as though if I were to meet an enlightened being, I would legitimately I'd have absolutely nothing to say. There'd be no like thing that they could verbally say to me that would change me deeply. But what could change me deeply is a look or a touch or grace. Grace. Nonverbal. Like Ramana Maharshi says that his verbal teachings are only for those who cannot receive his nonverbal teachings. And I feel like I'm in a position right now with myself where I would be able to receive a nonverbal teaching from an enlightened master. And so it's just like, what would I ask? Like what verbal question could I ask? Do you write Did you write your question down?
No, I wrote down an idea that someone had said.
Oh, okay.
And
Gotcha.
what question would I ask? I don't know. I think it would be something where I would have to sit in front of them or whatever and see what gets pulled out of me. And I think the only thing I would be focused on is saying whatever came up. And being like, whatever is coming up right now needs to come out.
That's lovely. That's like not making a commitment to saying a specific thing. It's like giving in return what a true guru would give to you, which is not a 1, 2, 3 teaching that is given to everyone. It's like, from my experience, it seems as though a true enlightened master would look at you, see your set of experiences very clearly, know what you would need, and deliver. And so for you to be like, because there's also like the receptivity, like how receptive are you to that? So for you to be open and free flowing, that makes me think. It's like, what would happen if I made the commitment in myself, like, not to say anything, and then all of a sudden I come in and there's a question. Oh my gosh, this whole commitments thing is really, it's tricky. The mind is so mischievous. It's so mischievous.
Yeah,
it just like, traps you.
And how often we don't allow ourselves to be fluid. You know, like it's there's so many like damn walls that are built up.
Yes.
Even yesterday, which was interesting with the conversation with our roommates of like the just extreme honesty, I ended up saying something that earlier in the day I had made like a judgment about and didn't want to share because I was afraid of, one, knowing that my judgment is 100% just a stupid my perception.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe it's completely wrong. And then feeling like I could hurt someone else or hurt a friendship by saying something that's just honestly all of my experience.
Yeah.
And how much of the time we like put, at least me personally, put walls up because of that. And, you know, like protect. And in the Adyashanti video we watched about truth and honesty, just all the ways in which we bend what we actually want to say.
Yes.
Just so that we could hopefully avoid that abrasiveness, that pain, and understanding more and more that it is like those things getting brought up that makes the spontaneity, the magic happen. You know, it's like the two. This is just a random thing. I just had this image of like an animal in the woods interacting with another animal all of a sudden. And then they like have a duel or something, or like figure out all of a sudden they need to learn how to like survive. And that's like the spark of evolution.
Yeah. Oh, and it's like we're avoiding that.
And it's like we're avoiding.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that like one needs to kill the other to survive.
Yeah.
You know, it means they need to find a way to live in peace. And humans have the like crazy ability that we can communicate. Like KRS-One, he's something big for me. But he says this thing. He's a rapper who like came up in the 1980s. It was like one of the original rappers, and talks about how when he was a kid, the reason why he's like still alive today was because they would do this thing that they called jailhouse boxing, where they would just rap at each other and say all of their shit and judgments about each other. And then that was all laid out on the table right in front of each other, rather than letting those things build up. And then you're like in a place where you're like, oh, I need to like hurt this person because of X. And he talks about how like those things were always just let out, had a healthy outlet. And it's like we have that choice as humans to create the healthy outlet. And how much of the problems today are based on no healthy outlet. That was a tangent. Jeez. Well, folks.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
It is time.
If you want to do more of this stuff with us, to circle the whole thing back, the satsang.
Yeah.
The video should be uploaded now on our channel that describes everything about the satsang if you missed that all earlier.
Link at the top of the chat if you want to go straight to the satsang, or a link in the description of that video, or in the About Us page. Yeah.
We're blessed.
Yeah. What is there even to say? It's
Okay.
incredible.
What is there to say, Snake?
Wisdom as always from Snake.
I think the silence is very profound that Snake always lays down.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. All right, folks. Love you so much.
Yes, we love you.
So long.